Daylight savings time.
That was epic.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to another episode of OnBullshit.
Daylight savings is bullshit.
Daylight Savings Edition.
Hi everyone. This is AB.
And I'm the Panda. And today we're going to discuss daylight savings time and what a horrible mistake that is.
It's useless. We don't like it. We like our sleep.
Why is it useless?
Because we lose an hour's sleep. For no reason.
But don't we gain extra light?
No. We literally do not. There's the exact same amount of light, whether it's 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock.
We were doing some light research on this topic, obviously, before we started this. Because we have both, we both think it's kind of dumb at this point. And
batshit cray-cray.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't. It doesn't help anyone.
So, I mean, I guess to give like a brief history, apparently,
the Germans did it first.
The Germans did it first as a country. I think it was started somewhere in Canada, I guess. An experiment, like one of the Canadian states. Is it states? I don't even know.
Is it Austria-Hungary?
I know there was like a province, and then I know it said like Germany was the first country to actually implement it.
Oh, I think you wrote a different article than I did because I don't remember reading that.
But I mean, along what you were saying, Germany was the first country to do it, and then the UK, other parts of Europe, and then the US,
and then World War I.
It was all largely for World War I in an effort to save fuel.
Which I think did it actually save fuel?
Apparently, it did.
Yeah,
back then. Effort. Yeah. Back then, there was a legitimate purpose to have it because they saved barrels of oil that they needed to fight and kill each other.
Yeah, because they still had what, kerosene lamps at the time.
Exactly.
And candles. But now, with all the advancements we've had in energy technologies.
Yeah, after World War I, it kind of went away for a while, and then
World War
II came around, and it became a thing again for the war effort.
And then we entered the early 2000s. More bills came out. I say bills, a bill came out.
Well, even before then, apparently in the 60s and 70s, it was still being debated. So we thought at the time it was for agriculture.
Yeah, there's a myth that floats around that says that it's for the good of the agriculture industry to help farmers more efficiently plant their crops. Mm-hmm.
Get more daytime to do their farming. Total bullshit.
Complete and utter bullshit.
Apparently the industry largely opposed this practice because people could not, they just lost time. People weren't using it to spend more time farming. Yeah,
they would have to wake up earlier but wait even longer to start, their farming practices.
Exactly, and all their hired help worked the same hours and expected to be let off at the same time, so they had to work around that, which made things worse for them because they're getting less work done.
Yeah, so it's useless. Daylight savings is useless.
And coming into modern day, as you were saying before, we're not actually saving electricity from daylight savings.
We're not. We're using more because we're awake earlier and,
People run air conditioners longer now.
We do because...
Tends to consume more power.
Yeah, and we have, quote-unquote, a longer day.
And as we discussed before, because people get out more and do more activities, gas consumption goes up as well.
Yeah, so there's literally zero saving of anything going on. Except... Who does benefit from this?
Retail.
You forgot.
I literally, for some reason, I blanked out when you looked at me and asked that because I was just sitting here I don't know what to say.
We literally just talked about this.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just being on the spot.
Okay, so I guess I shouldn't give you cues.
Sorry.
My bad. Anyway, yeah. So the only people that actually benefit is people that are trying to sell us shit.
Exactly. People that want us to walk into their stores and buy more shit since it's still light outside.
$50 pants and shirt. What the heck was that? It is not bedtime.
No, I'm sorry. That was my little bedtime notice on my phone that's if you expect to get this many hours of sleep, this is about the time you should start preparing. We're recording this super late, by the way.
Yeah, it's after midnight. Holy shit, it's 1 in the morning. It is 1 in the morning of day 1 of daylight savings time.
I'm like wide awake right now, though.
Me too.
This is awesome.
Like I was saying, day 1 of daylight savings. There's studies that have been done that apparently heart attack rates spike on day 1 of daylight savings time, which
Crazy.
is the Monday after it starts, which is today. So
people be dying or having heart attacks anyway.
It's not necessarily gonna kill you.
True. I know. I wanted to jump to the extreme there.
Yeah, you kind of have to make people pay attention. But yeah, I guess the anxiety and stress that comes from like losing an entire hour causes people to have heart attacks and end up in the hospital, which means they're spending a lot more money paying for their hospital fees and the ambulance fees, probably.
And since people are about to lose their insurance under the new Republican healthcare law,
oh god, that's gonna be so freaking scary when it goes through for like a lot of people. Like me personally, it's not gonna affect me because I've got insurance through my husband's job, so I don't have to use the government hookup with the insurance, the website.
You have to shop on the marketplace.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't have to do that. But like a lot of people that get help from the government for their insurance, they're about to lose a lot of that.
Yes. So there's really like two things that kind of surprised me about this. One, there's a lot of Obamacare left in this. Mm-hmm. There's still really kind of the popular things like, kids can stay on their parents' insurance till they're like 26 still. Mm-hmm. The government still provides subsidies for certain individuals, except as I'll get into it later, the subsidies changed because of how the Republicans plan.
I have to have someone explain to me what subsidies are.
Oh, really? well, actually, let's just go ahead and talk about it real fast. Like, the thing that's horrific in this, so the Republicans changed it from an income-based subsidy to an age-based subsidy.
Which is fucking dumb.
Super stupid. So rather than, like, if you're, like, really poor and in, like, the bottom, 10th percentile of income earning in the U.S., you'd obviously in the past under Obamacare you get a way bigger subsidy to pay for your health insurance, so you wouldn't have to pay more out of pocket. But now, since it's age based, people who are younger by default have to pay more, and people that are older get bigger subsidies. And while it may not seem like a big deal at first because older people obviously use healthcare way more than younger people, people who are poor still can't afford healthcare.
They can't, so then they're just going to end up even more poor having to pay for this stupid insurance that they might not even use. That's stupid that in your taxes you get penalized for not having insurance.
Right?
Like, I haven't been sick, let's see. Last time I got sick, I think it was a bladder infection. I had to go to the ER for that because I didn't know what the heck was going on. I had a fever. So I ended up in the ER and I got a shot for it. Mm-hmm. I haven't been sick since then, and that was when we were still living at the old house with the shitty roommates. That's been like 5 or 6 years. And I haven't been sick since then. So I haven't needed to use any kind of health care. So I'm paying for this service that I've never used.
See, I kind of... we need a longer podcast to get into the intricacies of this, because let me just try and quickly summarize though. So the problem is, like, with the Obamacare model, or the Affordable Care Act, I should say, I get why everyone hates the individual mandate, and there's definitely, like you said, for people that really just don't need to pay for healthcare and would rather pocket the money to use on something else. That totally get that, but this sort of system, you actually have to have something like an individual mandate, because the whole way this thing works is you have to force people that are younger and healthier to buy into the system that won't use it as much, so it can act as a subsidy for
the
sicker
older people. Yeah.
Who are going to need it more, and that's how you keep healthcare costs down. And the problem was, since the Republicans really attacked it and they kind of wavered and lowered the fees on people that don't have health insurance, it caused a lot of people just to say, screw it, I'll just pay the penalty for not having health insurance.
Except it goes up every year that you don't have it.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, under the Republican plan, it's going to be worse now, because they've made it to where if you miss out and you don't get health care for like a year, your employer and healthcare agency can actually raise your premiums up by about like 30%.
That's
for
fucking
the year
shit.
you missed paying. And then, after, like, that 1 year or something, you can get it back down to what it was before.
Yeah, that is freaking retarded. Like, okay, most of the people that actually are going to need this have minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
And, like, some people don't even work a full 40 hours a week.
Exactly.
Like, back to me. I don't mean to make this about me, but, like, I don't even work, like, 20 hours a week. I literally get my paychecks every 2 weeks. They're, like, for 39 hours. So, like, where's that going to leave me?
It's, like you were saying before, it's really, for people that have healthcare provided by their employer, you're probably going to be okay. The people who are just shopping around individually or for their family on the marketplace, they're the ones who have to really worry about what's coming up.
They're going to have to do the whole early bird shopping type thing to get the slightly better ones before they get snatched up by other people that need it.
Well, and they kept taxes, too, on rich people, which is part of the way they were paying for the healthcare system.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Rich people should have to pay more because they've got the money to spare.
Yeah. It always kind of annoys me, too, because, like, we're clearly having this big debate about fair wages right now and the fact that people aren't being paid the amounts they should have, keeping up for inflation.
Especially in our state. We're not going to say where we are, but our state right now is in a recession, economic recession. And we are a right to work state.
Exactly.
Which means, correct me if I'm wrong, that means that if you want a job, your employer can pay you whatever the fuck he wants.
And they can fire you for whatever reason they want.
Yeah, they can fire you for no reason.
Exactly. As long as it doesn't fall under one of the anti-discrimination laws, which gay people and I think trans generally are, and there's one other category of people that aren't protected under that, but as long as it's not under any of those sorts of things, then they can just wake up and you can lose your job just because your employer woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Or your employer will make your job environment hell until you quit.
Yep.
So that's why our state is one of the poorest. And intellectually and financially.
Well, and it really sucks. I mean, I know this is just across the entire U.S. Being in our generation and going to college and, getting tens of thousands of dollars in debt to try and get a better job and then fighting someone for a minimum wage job out of school really fucking sucks.
It does, and it's like a giant fear for a lot of people that are like in higher learning institutions. Like, okay, I'm putting all this time and effort into getting this degree, but what if I can't find a job when I'm done?
I'm a huge supporter of higher education, but we're kind of at that point now to where it's really hard for me to justify telling most kids that
they need to go to college.
They need to go to college to continue their education, because I think we're at that point to where you're just not guaranteed a better life.
It's a thing with there is no such thing as higher learning for learning's sakes. If that makes any kind of sense, like there is no studying just because you want to learn something, right? Like I think we've mentioned it a few times. College courses are preparing us for a job, for the workforce. They're not teaching us how to think. They're not teaching us any logic. There's not a whole lot of emphasis on, just philosophy.
Yeah.
Like,
they want you to hone in on, like, one particular skill set.
Yeah, and, like, that's shitty because if you only work one skill, what if you have an aptitude for something else? And those skills are just gonna atrophy.
There's a lot to be said about that. The fact that, like, I guess we don't push people to be well-rounded individuals as much anymore. We don't.
Like, okay, we have pretty intellectual conversations, but for myself, I wouldn't say I'm all that well-rounded because I know there's a lot of things that I know next to nothing about. But,
right. I think, probably in our next episode, we'll have to talk about some information gaps and get into education a little bit more, because I think this is an awesome topic. So
yeah.
Do you want to end on anything?
We need comments. Tell us what we should talk about. Is anyone listening? Hello? Is anyone there?
Tell us what you think. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.